Good day everyone. I'm Francis Macasero, presenter for the reporter today. I will discuss about typology of organizational culture and organizational climate. Typology, a study of analysis and classification based on types, categories. A school organizational culture provides a sense of identity, promotes achievement, presentation, helps to shape standards and patterns of behavior, create distinct ways of doing things, and determines direction for the future growth. Organizational or school culture has both positive and negative function. The culture of an organization is all the beliefs, feelings, behavior, and symbols that are characteristic of an organization. More specifically, organizational culture is defined as shared philosophy, ideologies, beliefs, feelings, assumptions, expectations, attitude, norms, and values. An organizational culture is usually made up of subculture and even counterculture that is composed of its order and defined of reality. A strong organizational culture including a sharing values and goals, dynamism, commitment, and participation contributes to the achievement of a student. Carl Steinhoff and Robert Owens 1989 developed four distinctive culture phenotypes that characterize the culture which may exist in an organization. These were developed after they studied the culture of a school using the survey methodology. Rather than the using of typical ethnographic approach. When we see ethnographic approach involved in immersing oneself in particular culture or social group to understand their behavior, beliefs, and practices through first-hand observation and participation. It's often used in anthropology, sociology, and cultural studies to gain deep insight into human society. Steinhoff and Owens identify the six interlocking dimensions that define the culture of a school as follows: the history of the school, the values and beliefs, myths and stories that explain the school, cultural norms, traditions, rituals, and ceremonies characterize of the school, the heroes and heroines of the school. From this, they developed the organizational culture assessment inventory, OOCI, and the four culture phenotypes. The first culture phenotypes is family culture. A school with a family culture is friendly, cooperative, and protective. The principal in this school can describe as a parent, nurturer, friend, siblings, or a coach. In this school, concern for each other is the important as well as achieving commitment to student above the beyond call of duty. Everyone should be willing to be a part and family to pull their own weight. The school as a family, then nurturing and friendly, open, cooperative, and protective, to which the members are alternately submissive and rebellious. Learning on the shoulders or bosom of some has their best interests at heart. A school with family culture is friendly, cooperative, and protective. This school can be described be based using the metaphor such as family, home, or team. The head in the school can be described as a parent, nurturer, friend, siblings, or coach or staff. Staff members are alternatively submissive. In a family culture, the most important element is concern for each other. The second culture phenotype is the machine culture. This school can be described using the metaphor of the machine. When we see metaphor of a machine, it is the well-oiled machine, political machine, beehive of activity, rusty machine. The principal or the head of this school is the workaholic. In a machine culture, the focus is on precision rather than nurturing learners. The school as a machine then view a purely instrumental terms. The driving force appears to come from the structure of the organizational itself, and the administrator are described in terms of their varying ability to prove maintenance and input. The social structure of this school is tightly woven. However, unlike those family culture, its mission is to protect rather than warm. The school is a machine teacher used to accomplish work. The next culture phenotypes is the cabaret culture. It focused the metaphors such as a circus, a Broadway show, a banquet, or a well-choreographic ballet performed by well-appreciated artists describe this school. This is a dog and pony show. metaphor as a circus, a body show, or a banquet, or a well choreographic ballet performed by appreciated artists. Describe this all show and no-go school. Effort are focused on getting reaction from the audience rather than developing authentic relationship between the colleagues. A cabaret culture is all about the theater of performance. Yes. The essential difference is that in this culture, relationships centers on a performance and the reactions is on the audience. There are great pride in the artistic, intellectual, and quality of a teaching, which is carried out under the watchful eye of the maestro at a cabaret show must go on. The next culture phenotype is the little shop of horrors culture. This school can be described as an unpredictable, tension filled nightmare having the characteristic of a war zone or a revolution. One never knows whose head will be rolled next. Teachers report their schools are closed boxes or prison. The principal is a self-cleansing statue ready to offer sacrifice. Sacrifice to maintain her position. In general, administrator in these schools are seen as an individual whose main function is to keep the thing smooth over. Others have a Napoleon complex that promote dominance and have and control or Jekyll Hyde personalities that promote a walking on an eggs style to adaptive behavior among the faculty. Unlike the family and the cabaret culture, teachers in this school lead isolated lives. Their little social activity, for example, written requests are often needed to hold the social activity. Even for the social occasion, this like Thanksgivings, one expected to conform to smile with an appropriate. Verbal abuse among faculty is common, and the closeness seems to be melting away. This culture is called the hostile and the paranoid. The snake fate skull can be described as an unpredictable, poisonous, tension-filled nightmare having the characteristic of war zone revolution. Teachers report their school closed boxes or prison, meaning hindi sila wala silang open. Tinatago nila yung mga kanya-kanya nilang mga ginagawa. Stenholt and Owens school culture excuse. Like for example, in this school, written requests are often needed activity. For example, to hold any social activity, even for the special occasion like Thanksgiving, one is expected to conform and to smile when appropriate. Stenholt and Owens' school culture phenotype resemble what the cultures delineated by Peters and Waterman with the increasing emphasis in the literature for the school administrator to become the manager of the culture, typologies such this can be useful for examining the culture of an organization. Moreover, and Steinhoff and Owens, an OKI or Organizational Culture Assessment Inventory appears to be a valid and reliable resource and practitioner with a source of experimentally found in the conventional instrument designed to measure organizational environment. The next is we discuss about organizational climate. Organizational climate is a total environmental quality with an organization. It may refer to the environment with a school department, a school building, or a school district. Organizational climate can be expressed by such activities as open, bustling, warm, easygoing, informal, cold, impersonal, hostile, rigid, and closed. Theories refers to organizational culture and climate as overlapping concepts. Organizational culture has its roots in sociology and anthropology. Whereas organizational climate is rooted in psychology. Recent attention to school effectiveness and organizational culture has emphasized the importance of organizational climate. Organizational climate has been studied with a multitude of variables, methodologies, theories, and models, resulting in the substantial body of research. Studies of an organizational climate have been shown to contain elements of leadership, motivation, and job satisfaction. For example, in one comprehensive review of an organizational climate study, these elements have been linked with the climate. We discussed four well-known constructs for the conceptualizing organizational climate in school. Halpin and Kraft concept of open and closed climate. Hoy and Tartar organizational health construct. Nassif comprehensive assessment of the school environment, and Wheeler and Idle and Hoy concept of pupil control ideology. Why is organizational climate important? Organizational climate is important for many reasons. It is established constraints systems so employees know appropriate boundaries. It also drives how organizations communicate, make decisions, establish policies and procedures, and contribute innovatively to their fields. What are the types of organizational climate? Through the different organizations all have different organizational climates. There are four common types. Yes. A people-oriented organizational climate promote employees' well-being over everything else. Second, a role of a role-oriented organizational climate values long-standing policy and procedure. Third, an innovation-oriented organizational climate support creativity and independence among students. And lastly, a goal-oriented organizational climate encourages employees to accomplish goals and aspire to high standard. How is organizational climate determined? Organizational climate is measurable through the use of survey and other tools by monitoring employee satisfaction on the variety of topics. An organization can be determined if its organizational climate is healthy or could be improved. For example, an organization might learn from its employees that its constraint system is a strong but it is decision making practice are inefficient. As we discussed earlier, we differentiate from culture from organizational climate. Organizational culture versus climate. Some people confuse organizational climate with organizational culture, but they have become distinctly different concerns for an organization. What is the difference between organizational climate versus culture? While organizational climate is about individual satisfaction and containment, organizational culture is shaped by the values and ways of thinking that are shared organization wide. Another key difference is the factor related to organizational climate can be measured, while those related to organizational culture are difficult to evaluate in a clear-cut quantitative way. And also, we discussed about what is the impact of work climate. In the simplest of terms, organizational climate influence employee happiness and productivity. However, an organization must invest significant effort in number of key areas in order to make such positive result a reality. The impact of an organizational climate is evident in the following areas. The first is constraints. Boundaries importance to establish in many areas of life, including workplace. Employee general perform better. They know what is expected of them and are allowed some room for independence and creativity with those constraints. However, an organizational is wise not to overwhelm employees with too many constraints, which can adversely affect employee satisfaction and productivity. Second is communication. Organizational climate is enhanced when an employees feel they receive constructive, fair, and regular feedback from their leaders. They also appreciate the opportunity to be heard on the issue that matters to them and their daily work. In other words, communication works best when all parties have a fairly equal amount of time to share their thoughts. Excuse. Organizational climate types. All organizational are unique, which means each one differs in an organizational climate. However, they can often be categorized under some common organizational climate types for which are explained here. People-oriented organizational climate. An organizational or an organization that has a people-oriented organizational climate is concerned primarily with the overall welfare of the employees, including their professional growth, work-life balance, and physical health. Employees enjoying benefits such as tuition reimbursement, generous family leave programs, and complimentary gym membership. Open climate. An energetic, lively organization that is moving toward its goal and that provides satisfaction for the group's members. Social needs describe the open climate. Leadership act emerges easily and appropriately from the both group and the leader. Members are preoccupied disruptly with neither task achievements nor social needs satisfaction on both counts seems to be obtained easily and almost effortlessly. The main characteristic of this climate is authenticity of the behaviors that occurs among the all members. Close climate. A high degree of apathy on the part of all members of this organization characterize the close climate. The organization is not moving. Spirit is low because the group members is secure neither social or satisfaction of nor achievement satisfaction. Members' behaviors can be constructed as authentic in as construct construed as inauthentic. Indeed, the organization seems to another is another is healthy and sick school. Another instrument to this assess the climate of the school is the organizational health inventory developed by Wayne Hoy and John Tarter, whereas the OCDO examine the openness and closeness of the teacher. Uh, as we back for the discussion of OCDQ, it is the characteristics of the behavior of the teachers and principals. And it is measured by the same Likert scale. It is open or closed. This example for this is the disengagement indicate that the teachers do not work well together. They fall in different direction and will speak of the grip tight backer among themselves. It is close, and another is spirit, refers to the moral. Teachers feels that their social needs are being satisfied while enjoying a sense of accomplishment in their job. It is open, and another characteristic is both close and open is intimacy, refers to the teacher's enjoyment and friendly social relationship and others. As further discussion, as OCPD examine the openness and closeness of the school teachers and the teacher principals and interaction, the OHI describe the health of the interpersonal relationship in this school among the student, teachers, administrators, and the community members. Healthy school. It characterized by the student, teachers, and principal behavior that is harmonious and works towards instructional success. Teachers like their colleagues, their schools, their job, and their student, and they are driven by the quest for the academic excellence. Six school. It is vulnerable to destructive outside forces. Teachers and administrators are hampered by unreasonable parental demands, and the school is buffeted by the whims of the public. The school lack of ineffective principal. The principal provides little direction or structure exhibit a scant encouragement for the teachers, and has negligible clouds with the superior. Comprehensive assessment of school inventory or case. The National Association of Secondary School Principal (NASIP) named as a task force to investigate the currently literature and the measure of the school climate. After an extensive review of the literature, the task force found that most existing definition of climate were unclear, that many climate studies were based on the stakeholder group. The climate unsatisfaction measures were frequently confused, that measures with the good psychometric properties were the scarce and rarely used by the practitioner. The task force formulated general model depicting the contextual input mediating an outcome variable of school environment, assumed accepted. In the formulation of the model were as follows. Climate unsatisfactions are distinct but related concept. Climate does not define effectiveness, it only predict it. Student outcomes, cognitive, affective, and psychomotor, and efficiency data or cost are most appropriate measure of the school effectiveness. Here as the framework of organizational culture. Societal environment, school district and community environment, school or classroom. School or classroom environment categorized by inputs, mediating variables, student outcomes. Inputs is the goal and objective of professional operational, organizational characteristic, physical environment, formal organization, curriculum instruction, leadership, policies, and informal characteristic of a group and individuals, demographics of the students, staff, administrators, expectation, the students, staff, administrator, patterns, job performance of staff, administrators, job satisfaction of staff, administrator, parent, and community satisfaction report. It is beliefs, attitude, and values. Organizational characteristic is physical environment, formal organization, curriculum instruction, leadership, policies, and store. Societal ideologies, it is the condition of beliefs and attitude of values, and it is systematically structure of dominance, wealth, and status, and occupational hierarchy castles. School or classroom environment is mediating variable. The student outcomes, school climate. The school climate is the relatively enduring pattern of the shared perception about the characteristic of an organization and members. Satisfactions is the student effective and response to his or particular environment. I like and feel good about. Productivity is the effective and the effectiveness attainment intended of the student goals and cognitive affective psychomotor. The instrument comprehensive assessment of school environment consists of 4 survey instruments. The NASIP School Climate Survey, as we discussed earlier, which is designed to elicit response from all major stakeholders group, student, teachers, and parents, and 3 separate NASIP satisfaction survey. One of it is the major of the groups. The NASIP School Climate Survey collect and measure data about the perceptions on the following subscales: teachers and student relationship, the quality of the interpersonal and professional relationship between teachers and student, security and maintenance. This is referred to the quality of the maintenance and the degree of the security and feel of the school administration. The degree to which the administrator are effective in communicating with the different role groups in a setting's high performance expectation for a teachers and student. Next is student academic orientation. This refers to the student attentions to tasks concern for an achievement at the school. Lastly, student behavior values, student self-discipline and tolerance and others. Guidance, quality of academic and career guidance and personal counseling services available to student. Student per relationship. Students are care respect of another their mutual cooperation. Next, parent and community school relationships. The amount of quality involvement in the school of parents and the other community members. Instructional management, the efficient and effectiveness of the classroom organization and use of the classroom time. Next, student activities, opportunity for the actual participation of the student in school activities. Another, we discuss about conceptualization of pupil control ideology. Another method of the conceptualizing organizational climate is in terms of attitude towards the students and behavior faculty to control them. Willard and Waller was one of the first to underscore the saliency of the pupil control in the organizational life of public school. Moreover, according to the nearly 4 decades of annual Gallup polls, pupils of control remains key concern the administrator and citizens. In the fact, teachers' inability to control students effectively is a major source of dissatisfaction for many of today's teachers. The importance of pupil control in the schools is not surprising. The school are people developing or people changing institutions. Excuse. These changes are restricted to cognitive behavior but include a wide range of social, emotional, physical, and in some cases moral behavior. Organizations that achieve or attempt to achieve the most thoroughgoing change of performing function and crucial for the maintenance of social control. Further, school accept conscripted clients of all those legally must attend. That is, neither the school organization nor the clients exercise choice and participation in the relationship. The mandatory nature's pupil participation suggests that the school are dealing with the clients whose motivation and desires for the school services cannot be assumed. It seems reasonable and the pupil control would be major concern. Evidence to support prominence of pupil control in school is provided by the field of study of a junior high school in which the researchers indicated that the pupil control was an interrogative theme, that is, pervaded the culture of the school. This study led the development of the construct of pupil control ideology. As the climate descriptor, the conceptualization of the pupil control and the research initiated by Donald Wellower, Terry Edel, and Win Hoy at Pennsylvania State University have permitted some first step toward the systematic analysis of the pupil control in the school. Pupil control ideology is conceptualized along the continuum from the custodial at extreme to humanism at the other. The rigidity traditional school served as the model for the custodial orientation. This kind of organization provides a highly controlled setting concerned primarily with the maintenance of the order. Students are stereotyped in the terms of their appearance, behavior, and parents of social status. Teachers do not attempt to understand the student misbehavior. In fact, they view the misbehavior as bad and believe that this irresponsible and undisciplined person should be controlled through punitive sanction. Watchful mistrust and autocratic control are the critical aspect of custodial perspective. The model of humanistic orientation is the school conceived of us as educational community which members learn to interaction and experience. Student learning and behavior are viewed in physiological and sociological in terms of rather than moralistic ones. The withdrawn student is seen just as much as the problem of the troublesome one. Teachers believe that the student cannot learn to be responsible and self-regulating individuals. Moreover, the humanistic teachers is optimistic about the student and has often a friendly relationship with student. A humanistic orientation leads the teachers to desire the democratic classroom climate with the attendant flexibility in the status and roles, open channels of two-way communication, and increased self-determination. Teachers and students are willing to act on their own volition and accept a violation and accept responsibility for their action. Reliability and validity of PCI form. The PCI form is the 20-item Likert type scale that measure the degree which individual people's control ideology is custodial. The higher the score, the more custodial the ideology, and conversely, the lower the score, the more humanistic the attitude. The reliability of the skill is consistently high, usually. The construct validity of the skill has been supported the number of studies. Scoring key. Items are scored 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1, or corresponding to the extent agreement with a strongly agree 5, agree 4, undecided 3, disagree 2, or strongly disagree 1 with each statement. Item 5 and 30 and 3 are reverse chord. That is strongly agree 1, agree and undecided 3, disagree 4, or strongly disagree 5. The higher cumulative score on these skills are the more custodial perspective to be judged to be. Here is the example of ECI form. And that's all for the report for this day. Thank you.